Hi, I'm wanting to show you now how to make Tarka Dal from the Flavors of India cookbook, and I'm using guided cooking on my TM6 screen. Now, the first step of this recipe is to make a coriander and chili chutney. I already have a different chutney that I'm wanting to use with this recipe, so I have skipped through that step, and now I'm at the step where it's asking me to put a bowl on top, and I'm going to weigh in the red lentils. I'll just bring this a bit closer, I don't know if you can see. There we go. It's asking me to weigh in the red lentils, so I've just got my bag of lentils here, and the bowl is on top. And I'm just pouring it in. You can see the scales go in 1 gram increments, so you can be super accurate, although it doesn't matter in this type of recipe. But when you're baking or doing something that needs you to be specific, those scales are very handy. So now I just press next and it tells me what to do. Cover with hot water and set aside to soak. Okay, so I have my hot water here. So I'm just pouring that on top until the lentils are covered, and I'll do a bit extra just for good measure. I'll show you what I have here. I mean, yeah, not too exciting, but I've just covered that with hot water. So 2 minutes of setting that aside, and while that happens, I'll carry on with the recipe here. So it is asking me to, the next step is asking me to drain that. So, which means I'll just pause here now to let that soak. Okay, that's been soaking for 2 minutes now, so I'm going to use my simmer basket to drain that just really quickly. And it says that the lentils should be about double in volume, which it's looking pretty good. So there. And I'll just sit that over the bowl so that that can keep draining while I carry on with the next steps. Okay, it's asking me to add 2 tablespoons of ghee. Now you can make your own ghee in the Thermomix. If you don't have ghee, you can also use butter, or if you want this recipe to be vegan, just use oil, and that's fine as well. Whatever you want to use, the recipe will work. If you want it to be authentic, go with the ghee. Adding some cumin seeds, which I have measured out. Get them all in there. Oh, sorry, I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. And it's telling me to put the lid on. It's always very handy. It always tells you to put the measure cup in and put the lid on. Press next, and it's telling me to turn to speed 1. So this is going to roast those seeds for 5 minutes in the ghee at varoma temp, speed 1. Now, to multitask at dinner time, instead of just standing here waiting for that to happen, these 3 dots over here are very handy. You can pull up the recipe detail and scroll down so you can see the next steps. So I can see now I want to get out my curry leaves, my garlic cloves, my chili, ginger. Like, I can just use this time to get out all my ingredients. If I want to be really organized, I can also put the scales on, and I could have a bowl up here and weigh my next ingredients. I don't usually bother with that too much. I just like to use this time to get out all my ingredients so that when this is ready, when this 5 minutes is up, or whatever you're doing, if you're sauteing onions, even if it's just 2 minutes, you can just use that time really effectively. Okay, that is done, and it is sizzling away, and it smells, I have to tell you, it smells amazing, which I can't show you over the thing, obviously, but okay, I have some fresh curry leaves here. So this first few minutes, I should have pointed out, this is to go on top of our dal. This is a garnish. So if you want to be super quick and simple and want a 15-minute dinner, skip this step. But this is This does make it taste really great, and it also looks impressive when you're serving up with guests to have this on top. So 3 minutes of cooking now. So we've got that ghee, we've got the cumin seeds, and now the curry leaves in there cooking away. Another 3 minutes, so you can go do whatever else you need to do around the house while that's happening. Okay, that's done. So we'll see the next step. It says transfer and set aside into a bowl. Use the same bowl I had the curry leaves in earlier. So it smells so good. And I want to get it all out to have that. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I can show you though. I don't want to waste any of this because the next step, it does ask you to clean and dry the bowl because we are chopping. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. But there's our garnish set aside. So it does ask me to clean and dry the bowl. I'm actually, the next step is at chopping garlic and ginger and chili. So I've just decided on the fly that I'm not going to bother, because if this were me not in a cooking class, I wouldn't bother. So I might as well just show you what I normally do. So, and I did have a bowl ready here for it, but that's okay. So it's asking me to put in 2 cloves of garlic, a chili. I'm just using half a chili and I have taken the seeds out. That's just your choice. And ginger. So I've got my nice big chunk of ginger there. And it's asking me to put the lid on to chop all those. Now, because the bowl is hot, I may need to chop this longer than it says, because one of the safety features in the Thermomix is that if the bowl is hot, it takes time gradually to get up to the speed you want it to be at. And that's fine, because normally it only takes 2 seconds to chop this. It might take maybe 4, something like that. I'll just keep that going till I need it, till I hear that it's done. Okay, I could hear that that was done because the blades stopped making contact with the food that was in there. So that was 7 seconds. So yeah, it was longer than normally normally takes only a few seconds. But as you can see, we've got everything chopped up nicely there. And it's telling me to scrape down. Easy, easy, easy. Now we're going to add in lid. Oh, it's telling me to chop again. Oh, see, I didn't need to do it longer. That's done, I can hear that. Scrape down again. See, I often do the dal recipe from the basic cookbook. I've only done this one once before. I can't always remember the steps, but it doesn't matter because guided cooking tells you along the way. So it doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing. So now it's asking me to add the water. I always slow down when it gets close because it's easy to add more, but not as easy to take away, although you can still take away. I have a teaspoon of salt, and I've also got my turmeric ready in there. So that goes in. We've got fresh tomatoes that I've just diced in that 5 minutes while the curry leaves were cooking. If you wanted to use a can of tomatoes, you can do that as well. If you don't have fresh. And the other piece of ginger that I had is going in. And our lentils, which have been set aside here. So they are going in. Interesting, the other dal recipe that I often do doesn't require you to soak the lentils. So just different recipes that are around the place. There's also a really yummy lentil recipe called Spice Moroccan Lentil Soup in the basic cookbook. I definitely recommend trying that as well. Okay, the lid goes on, and now it's 15 minutes at 100 degrees on speed 2, and then dinner's ready. Okay, that 15 minutes is up, and I'm just going to press next. It is asking me to add, and you could do this through the hole in the lid as well, but it's asking me to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I've just got some lemon juice that I was squeezing a minute ago. Okay, so we've got the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and what does it say next? The chutney that you're wanting to use. So there's all sorts of different chutneys. The one in this recipe is a delicious coriander and chili chutney. I have had it before. It's really good. I'm using a mango and coriander chutney tonight. One that I already have in the fridge. So, yep. Stir well with the spatula. I think that's the end because all my other ingredients are gone. So just give it a stir. Looking very nice. Okay, transfer into a serving bowl. So I have my serving bowl here. Trying to decide whether I should pour or scoop. If you are pouring out of the Thermomix bowl, it's good to pour onto a spatula or overturned spoon so it doesn't splash up. Just like that. And it's saying to garnish with the reserved spiced curry leaves and serve warm. Now while the dal is cooking, so I'll get some of these curry leaves that we made earlier. I don't think mine looks as pretty as the picture, but it smells just as good, I'm sure, as anyone's making it. So I've got my Tarka Dal here, and I made some garlic and coriander naan to dip in. So bon appetit. And there you go. Thanks for watching.